We're talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the White House, his interaction with the US President Donald Trump. And remember, he's only the fourth world leader to be meeting the US President after the inauguration of Trump 2.0 within the first month of that inauguration. So what's the symbolism here? What are the substantive takeaways for India and for the United States of America? Because when leaders of the world's two most powerful and vibrant democracies meet, it's not just about India and the United States of America. What's the wider impact? Because we'll talk about trade, we'll talk about tariffs, we'll talk about technology, we'll talk about defense, and we'll talk about connectivity. Because connectivity is huge when the two talk about the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. So that's a corridor that will connect India all the way to the United States of America through the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Europe, and then America. What does that mean for China's Belt and Road Initiative? What does the handing over or the clearance of handing over of that Pakistani-Canadian terrorist Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana of the Pakistan Army and his involvement with the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks indicate? There are many, many layers to the India-US relationship. We'll talk about military hardware, but first we bring you this report.
Even as Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Washington, D.C. for his two-day trip to the United States, US President Donald Trump was coming through on the threats he issued a week ago. After slapping duties on imports from his three biggest trading partners, China, Canada and Mexico, after imposing duties on steel and aluminium imports, Trump dragged India into his crosshairs by imposing tit-for-tat tariffs across the board.
The reciprocal makes tariffs really fair. It's a beautiful, simple system, and we don't have to worry about, gee, we're charging too much or too little. But traditionally, India is right at the top of the pack, pretty much. There are a couple of smaller countries that are actually more, but India is a they charge tremendous tariffs.
Trump, the eternal deal maker, kept up the pressure on India, raising the issue again twice in the presence of Prime Minister Modi. First, during their bilateral talks, and again at the joint press conference.
We announced some very big elements today of success. I call it an element of success. Reciprocal tariffs, so that somebody charges us, we charge them the same amount, which has never been done in our country before. We've always been taken advantage of by other countries, and we allowed that to happen foolishly, but we're not going to allow that any longer. It's hard to sell into India because they have trade barriers, very strong tariffs. We are right now a reciprocal nation. We are going to, if it's India or if it's somebody else with low tariffs, we're going to have the same. We're going to have whatever India charges, we're charging them. Whatever another country charges, we're charging them. So it's called reciprocal.
The impact on the Indian stock markets was as expected. Though the indices opened in green, they were later dragged down by the possible repercussions of the trade war on Indian industry and the resulting uncertainty among foreign portfolio investors. The Nifty is down nearly 900 points in the past 8 sessions.
Not only Indian, but world over, the investors are nervous. They are not sure which way the global economy will move with these kind of new tariff and what kind of disruption it can bring to these overall global supply chains.
The reciprocal tariff, however, failed to cast a shadow on the Modi-Trump meetings, with both leaders taking off again on the ties they enjoyed more than 4 years ago. India already has an import duty cut in the offing and is likely to trim its trade surplus with the US with more crude oil, gas and defense imports. Prime Minister Modi also alleviated some of the trade tensions in his trademark style.
अमेरिका की भाषा में कहूं तो विकसित भारत का मतलब मेक इंडिया ग्रेट अगेन, यानी मीगा। जब अमेरिका और भारत साथ मिलकर काम करते हैं, यानी मागा प्लस मीगा, तब बन जाता है मेगा पार्टनरशिप फॉर प्रॉस्पेरिटी।
Meanwhile, US and Indian officials are also moving forward with talks on a bilateral trade deal, with a Trump administration official saying they hope to have a deal in place this year. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.